Hey guys, I've talked a lot about the Casita trailer, but one thing I'm really proud about is the parking spot. I put a lot of work into that. Yeah, I put a lot of work into that. That was 6 days after I had surgery on my hand. I can't sit for that long, so I came out here. One of the first things I did was I established my property line. And then I laid my 1x6 treated lumber down. And the reason I do that is it makes it nice and flat. It's a system I've been using for years. So instead of putting gravel down, sand down, I just dig it out and then that board goes in nice and level. If it's not level, you dig a little more dirt and make it level, and that treated lumber lasts a long time. Then I started placing my block. Just down this edge. Then I went into grouting everything. Got everything grouted. The neat thing about the grout is it's 8-inch block and there's a gap at the bottom on the lumber. So when you grout it, the concrete falls into that gap and locks it up against the edge of the lumber. So it holds it in a little tighter. Kind of like those little garden blocks with the lips on them. I don't know if you've seen those, but once that was done, I came in here and cleared all the grass out. At that point, I put the grass up against the block, so you can see how high that came up on my neighbor's side. So even that piece of lumber is buried under there. After I got the grass all moved and up against the block, I had to come in here and locate utilities before the mini excavator dug them up. So I chased a few out and I found a water line down at the other end. So did not hit any utilities on that project. I wasn't digging too deep, but I did have a couple that were a lot shallower than I figured they'd be. Once that was done, I laid some pretty heavy fabric down. Just to keep the weeds and well, they call this grass St. Augustine. Then I came in and I capped the block. So I got a 2-inch solid cap on everything. Everything is grouted. All my joints were grouted. I was pretty tired. Didn't quite wire brush things off as quick as I should have. We're all right with that. Wish I would have done it though. After that was done, I had a good line for my base to go in. So I was able to get my base at a good level to where I had drainage through here. Kind of flows towards me right now. And then on these edges where my downspout is, underneath this rock, starts high, works itself, oh, there we are, works itself down, and then around the corner, and being that this is my low spot, the water leaches out. So it's basically a little French drain coming from there to here and exits on out. Then I came in and I spread my 3-inch minus river rock. And I was only going to go to right there, up to the little fence I built. And then me and the wife looked at it, and I ended up taking rock all the way down. And then I put power in. Well, I believe I had power before I started this project, but there's my power for my trailer. So here I keep a humidifier going, and I have an ozone machine in there that goes off once a day for 20 minutes. Just to keep the odors down and the smell out of the Casita carpet. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons I did this. One of the main reason is when you store your trailer, that axle needs to get up off the ground. Those are called torsion axles, if you didn't know. Torsion axles have rubber on the inside. When you're storing them for a long period of time and the weight of the trailer is sitting on those rubbers, well, they compress and they basically mold themselves. Instead of a circle, and I'll show you a picture, instead of a circle, they're nice and tight like that. Which then, that's what makes you lose degree in that arm and comfort. So I wanted to get this up and level to where I wasn't jacking it too high. If you have an owner's manual on your axle, read it, and it will more than likely explain it to you a little better and tell you to keep the weight off of the axle during storage. Airstream uses that same axle. Once I put the new axle on this trailer, I was definitely going to be keeping the weight off of the axle. But you can see the difference in grade here. So by the time I got weight off that other side and weight off of this side, my step was about 2 foot off the ground. So it made it pretty inconvenient, and even though I have that second step, it was all wet and sloshy here, and you'd step on that step and it'd just go down into the dirt. So it was a big deal for me to get this done. This little fence right here, I just welded some rod on plate on a couple plates, and then pounded some PVC about a foot deep, capped off on the bottom, and so these just slide up and down in them. You got, oh, so I hope you enjoyed this little video. Go make a home for your Casita.